We're going to look at the recall of the week, which this week is minoxidil. And the title of this is How Hard Can It Be? Compared to breaking the law, which is what happened. So here's the story. There have been multiple versions of this hair and beard growth serum that have been recalled that contain minoxidil. They're sold online through the famous on-time retailer. The packaging wasn't child resistant, and it violates the U.S. poison prevention law. So this wasn't a mistake. There are multiple brands of these. They're the same product type, but they're all the same violation, and they all happen roughly the same time. First of all, who am I to be telling you this? Well, I only have 50 plus years in quality and manufacturing experience in regulated industries. I've been a business analyst, writer, and an author and educator on organizational failure. And that's what this is. Keeping in mind that anytime I say the word probably, it means I might be wrong. This is probably what happened. Somebody over there had a generic formulation. They had a lot of bottles around like they do. So they created multiple brand names of this and multiple applications of this. Had some boxes printed up. They all looked nice and beautiful. Advertised them on the famous retail site. But nobody along this line, it never occurred to anybody to check for compliance. Now, this isn't a gray area. It's been well known for many decades that certain things are required to be put into child-resistant packaging, and this is one of them. So this is no mystery. That's been around for a long time. So here's the further question. How hard can it be? How hard can it be to put minoxidil in a little bottle, responsibly package it and send it to North America and have it be good? So what they did was, obviously, tried it. It worked temporarily. Didn't completely assess the complexity of this whole supply chain, whole situation, and now it's down. The reality of this whole thing is that over here, the laws are different than they are over there. And that is what we call in the book of Incompetence something called cultural dissonance, where requirements in one place are vastly different than requirements in a different place. And assumptions don't travel well. Here's the other problem, which is when everyone touches the product and no one owns the law. At the end of this vast supply chain, there is the law about packaging. But who in all of this is responsible as to whether or not it gets in the right bottle? Is the manufacturer responsible? Ultimately, that's probably right. However, it's been sold to the famous retailer, and the famous retailer doesn't take any responsibility for what's actually in the bottle or what the bottle is being packaged with. So in other words, if there are compliance issues, the retailer says, we're just a communication method, that's all on you. So the accountability of the whole system is diffused. Nobody can figure out who exactly is accountable. So here's your ad on the famous retail site. These guys control the listings, they process the payment, they handle fulfillment, but they have no responsibility for the product, and that's kind of problematic. So the further question is, why did these recalls happen all at the same time? Well, possibly somebody ratted them out. There could have been a triggering complaint or incident from somebody in North America who's producing this stuff responsibly in the child-proof bottle, which is probably slightly more expensive. And it's probably also true that the item here is being sold at a discount relative to North American pricing. So there's some other assumptions that we have to make. In other words, if these guys can't get this stuff in the right bottle, what other assumptions are we making? First one being, who says this stuff isn't contaminated or has some kind of bacteria? Are the ingredients in these things verified to be not toxic? Does this concentration work? Is it stable? And finally, does the product actually work? And there's no way to tell on that. So where's the incompetence in all this? Well, first of all, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. Somebody underestimated the complexity of selling this stuff in North America. Second of all, like we talked about earlier, the cultural dissonance, which is the standards of reality in one place of the world is different than the standards in the other place. And the other is the systemic incompetence, which is the responsibility of this conformity, the material, the requirements is diffused because it has to go through so many hands, and it's 12 time zones away from home with no legal system. So there's still a lot of answered questions.